What's up, guys? I'm DK Wrestler, and today's video is a new edition of This Week in Funko News. Of course, where I talk about the latest Funko news that have happened this past week. And because there wasn't actually really enough Funko news this past week, I am going to incorporate last week's news since I didn't do one of these videos due to me doing the top 10 list that always happens on the last day of the month. So I'm going to incorporate that into this video, but those won't be eligible for the top 5 list that we normally do at the end of these videos, so let's get right to it. So the first set of pops we're going to be talking about are the retro Star Wars, and these all look really awesome. I love the incorporation of the different colors that are involved, whether it is Boba Fett staying true to his colors, or even Kylo Ren bringing up the blacks by making it blue. But one pop that I do enjoy that Funko didn't add into their post is the glow-in-the-dark box lunch exclusive Darth Vader, which looks absolutely gorgeous, and I can only assume that this pop in person, when you take a black light to it, is going to look really awesome. Next announcement is a Spider-Man 2099 pop comic covers that's exclusive to Target. I do like the fact that they made a comic covers of this specific one, considering that this Spider-Man 2099 comic covers is one of the most expensive covers to get. Announced on the events page for Funko, there will be a collaboration between Yu-Gi-Oh! And Mondo. For those that don't know, Mondo is a company that Funko acquired where they make posters, records, and even their own line of action figures. So this is really cool because I know from how detailed the Funko Pops are for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Lineup that with Mondo making their own figures with Yu-Gi-Oh! That these are going to be over the top, whether it be the human characters or even the dual monsters like, let's say, Summon Skull. So I am really excited to see how this ends up turning out to be, whether it is, let's say, their own Funko Pop posters or perhaps their own lineup of figures that aren't Funko Pops. The official announcement of Funko and Skibidi Toilet. Oh man, I don't know what I can say that is good about this announcement because already I was not on board when there was leaks about Skibidi Toilet Funko Pops. The next announcement, we have a Fanatics exclusive John Cena for the WWE lineup. This is exactly the John Cena that I would have rather wanted with the red outfit instead of the blue outfit that he had worn during Raw's debut on Netflix. Next up, we have pops of Nami and Usopp for the bronze collection of One Piece pops. Now, I know they originally did a couple of other ones, which was like the first sneak peek at other pops getting that Octane QR code besides the New York Comic Con exclusives from 2024. And I guess this will be an ongoing series of pops happening throughout 2025. And I didn't even know until now that these all will be Funko Pop Pluses, or as I call it, John Pops. Not entirely too excited about this considering that A, it's a bronze pop, and B, I don't collect One Piece. Next up, we have some Britney Spears pops for more specifically Lucky, Stronger, and Oops, I Did It Again. So I guess these are all right, but my only gripe is the Oops, I Did It Again pop, considering that they already made this into a Funko Pop album. An Add Icons pop of the Hershey's Cookies and Cream Chocolate Bar. Normally, I'm not a big fan of the Hershey's chocolate, but one chocolate I will eat from Hershey's is cookies and cream, so I'm kind of glad that there's actually a figure coming out, but this is one of those foodies pops rather than an actual Add Icons figure. Next up, we have ourselves some Gwenverse pops of Cap Gwen, Wolver Gwen, Iron Gwen, and Thor Gwen, which I guess these are meh considering we've been getting a lot of mashup pops as of late, especially with Marvel when we had the Carnageized lineup, which wasn't really needed. I don't know if these Gwen Stacy pops are really needed either, considering that the hype for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, I feel like it's definitely over at this point. Chalice Collectibles had announced their own exclusive pop of Power with Meowie, which also has a flock chase. This looks pretty decent, and a flock chase definitely makes sense. Next up, we have Kristen and Adina as a 2-pack for the Wicked movie. Once again, not surprised that there's going to be more Wicked pops considering the movie just recently released within the last couple of months, and I wouldn't be surprised if the upcoming WonderCon that Funko has confirmed they're going to have exclusives for will have a Wicked related pop. Funko announced the next Jumbo Chan figure, which is of Proto the dog. Not gonna lie, I do like the Jumbo Chan figures. I think they are pretty detailed, more detailed than the Project Freds, and they're at a bit more of a cheaper price. Being limited to 1,200 pieces, Funko announced Biddy Pop pins. Who the cares about these? And now we officially kick off this specific week's Funko news with a Sabrina Carpenter Funko Pop. Now this is her first Funko Pop in the Rock's lineup, and I'm not surprised that we're getting a pop of her because of songs like Espresso that has gotten really popular as of late. Funko announced the next set of TargetCon 2025 exclusives, which are of He-Man and Skeletor for the TMNT Masters of the Universe set. Now these pops are really awesome. I love the detail, especially on Skeletor, with how the colors just pop out really nicely. We got ourselves a 10-inch Gengar from Pokemon that will be a Target exclusive. I didn't like the 4-inch pop the first time it was announced. I couldn't give two about the 10-inch pop now that it's announced. They need to do a new Gengar that actually looks more like Gengar and won't disappoint the people that have been wanting Gengar for so long, like my co-host MD Shady. A brand new set of Thundercats pops have been announced for the first time in a long time. It is cool to see a new set of these pops. In case you couldn't get the original ones, now they're way more detailed with 2025 standards. A new wave of 3 Pokemon pops got announced, with one of them being Dratini. Dratini is the only one that I know out of this because that is Gen 1 and I don't know the other gens. I know these were sporadically announced throughout January, but not an official announcement with all 3 like I just mentioned. So these 3 will not be eligible for the top 5 list later on in this video. We got ourselves a set of League of Legends pops, and these are pretty detailed. I haven't really played the game, but the pops and the detail in them are really awesome. Suspension of inbound parcels from China in Hong Kong. So this had a lot of people talking, considering that we all know that one of Funko's factories where they make pops is in China while the other one is in Vietnam. And I think people were a little worried, considering that this would cause a whole thing like the pandemic again, where there'd be a huge delayment of pops because one factory would not be able to get their pops out on time. And I think this also has to do with the fact of Donald Trump and implementing his tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China. But then they did do an update where they will accept inbound mail and packages from China and Hong Kong posts. So I guess this means that there won't be a delayment of certain Funko Pops coming from China. We got ourselves a set of Marvel Rivals pops, which a lot of people have been hyped with the new Marvel Rivals game. I know my co-host MD Shady, I believe, has played this game and said it's kind of similar to Overwatch, if I'm not mistaken. And the way that these pops look are pretty cool, with Doctor Doom, Magneto, Iron Man, and then Galacta. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. It's basically the girl version, I believe, of Galactus, and it is a 6-inch pop, which definitely makes sense because of how massive that character is. So I'm not surprised that they made the size a little bit bigger compared to the 4-inch pops. And last but not least, before we make it to the top 5 portion of this list, we got ourselves TargetCon reveals of a 10-inch Tenjin and a Superman pop comic covers, which I guess these are okay. I mean, of course, a 10-inch pop of a character that probably already has a 4-inch pop, and then the comic covers, at least here in Canada, pop comic covers have become super expensive to where I'm not even excited if there is ever a potential of a comic covers that I might want, like Carnage, because I'm likely not going to buy it because of its price point. But now I'm going to talk about my top 5 favorite pops that were announced this week. Coming in at number 5 on my list, it is Jin from League of Legends. Now, like I mentioned, I don't know too much about League of Legends, but the detail of this pop looks really awesome with the white mask and especially the blaster that it's holding in his hand. Coming in at number 4 on my list is Doctor Doom from Marvel Rivals. It was really difficult to choose a pop from Marvel Rivals. I knew I was going to choose one, but I didn't know which one, so I went with Doctor Doom. The way they pulled this off to where you can definitely tell that it's from something else other than the comics is cool, while staying true to what he actually looks like and what we normally see him as. Coming in at number 3 on my list is Moonra from the new Thundercats set. Now this pop is leaps and bounds better than what the original Moonra looked like, with the crazy good detail of the red hood and eyes, and especially the staff that's black and also has red horns, eyes, and teeth attached to it, which is why it made it to number 3 on this list. Coming in at number 2 on my list is the TargetCon exclusive Skeletor from the TMNT Motu mashup. Like I mentioned, this thing has a lot of detail in terms of the colors, where you you see yellow, green, purple, and even those red eyes that just pop out really well. I think having those different colors involved and kind of making it look like a blacklight pop really makes the detailing of each part of this pop stand out. And coming in at number 1 on my list is the Lion-O with Cat's Lair Pop Town from the Thundercats set. Felt that it was really cool to not only have a new Lion-O with the way that it's pulled off, but the fact that it's a pop town is cool also because it's not too often anymore that we have pop towns. Anyways, guys, that's gonna be the end of today's video. If you enjoyed today's video of this week's Funko news, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know down below on what your favorite pops have been that were announced this past week, and I hope to see you guys on another video here on the channel. 1, 2, 3, I'm out of here.